Welcome to Born to be Wild, a D&D 5e campaign set in Matthew Mercer's Wildman campaign setting. My name is DarkInsanities. I play a tiefling shadow sorcerer called Pelaios. I exist on Discord, and on Twitter at DarkInsanities. Hi, Frici.
On Discord? In Discord?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, I am Frici. I play an elven druid called Belanor, and currently only exist on Discord.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, was I next? Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi, I'm Dave. I play Vakhuil on the wheel, a dwarf that misses a lot. You'll hear some background noise today because my dog is going apeshit right now. Oh! I changed my Twitter handle, finally, so Dark can stop giving me shit for it. It's now @Dave DVCT.
That's too long to remember. I have to find some reason to give you shit for it now, so it's now going to be too long to remember. Hi, Vixie.
Hi, I'm Vixie. I play the human ranger Lisana, and I'm on Twitter at VixieRose.
Hi, Rocky.
Hi there, as I am running around trying to find something that's apparently lost. Hello!
Rocky is everyone. Except
I'm everybody else.
Except us. He's not us.
Etc.
Indeed, Rocky is our DM. Rocky's a very good DM. Anyhow, last episode from last time will be up on my YouTubes. This episode will be up and live on Friday. Assuming I do actually remember to edit it and upload it before I'm not here on Thursday. It's probably fine. And if you do !campaign in chat, that will give you a link to all of that nonsensery. On the stream, you'll see the D&D Beyond overlay down the left-hand side. The character sheet commands you get in chat will also take you to our D&D Beyond character sheets. Everything you see actually on the main part of the stream is on Roll20. All of the maps, the dice rolls, that stuff is all Roll20. There's no alerts making noise on the screen when the game itself is live. We'll largely be ignoring chat verbally, though we will still type in chat when we have something we feel like saying. We have 3 rules. Number 1, the DM is always right. Number 2, players can try to change the DM's mind. The DM is still always right. Number 3, viewers are not players and they do not get to argue. Hi, Rocky.
Hello, everybody. Alright, let's see if we can't do this just right. I think that was at least a half-decent transition there. Alright, so last we left off, would anybody like to give us a rundown of what kind of occurred, since it has been a few weeks since we had last? There was quite a few different developments since.
As I recall, we came to Rosohna, enjoyed the sky, killed some radiant elementals, met a dude, tried to kill a dude, failed, he escaped, found a shiny, visited the queen, got asked to go and find some weirdness in the barb fields, went and found some weirdness in the barb fields, found a shiny skull, and came back again.
That sounds about right. Yeah, albeit a bit briefed with the kind of your involvement of what went on.
Nothing happened to Pelaios at all. What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that... Nah, let's not suggest anything. Everybody already knows.
Yeah. There's nothing to suggest. But perfectly innocent random roaming tiefling. Oh no, I had forgotten something. Lisana met a gnoll that used to not be a gnoll when he was a magician in Nicodranus when she grew up, who made her a new bow in exchange for a horse, which was no longer necessary because Dave is now riding a winged lion for strange reasons.
Technically, it's not winged yet.
Not flying. I don't know if it's... Yeah, well...
No, it has no wings right
Oh,
now.
okay. Greater Steed is a spell, eventually. Anyway, yeah, there we are. That, I think, covers pretty much everything that's happened recently.
Yeah, you came back round harvest time, and since it is around to that sort of festive period, and you have had your visions where to possibly might go next, it seems to be that a little bit of research and a little bit of well-deserved downtime is deserved. So let me do something quite silly for this map here.
Uh-oh.
Hello, party. You can go your separate ways as you figure out what you're going to do for the next 2 weeks in Rosohna.
Oh my god.
Did we go back to the Bright Queen and claim a reward or anything for the whole... we went and straight up murdered the dude?
You were sort of... You did sort of figure out sort of, yes, this is what's been causing the issue. Definitely that this artifact has been doing etc. etc. In brief, it has been informed that you have done good service. Thumbs up.
Yeah,
and that you
But
will not
we don't
be...
but we don't get a reward besides the fact that...
The reward was the artifact therein for whatever was causing the issue.
Okay.
But you are now considered honorary citizens of Rosohna.
Yay.
Oh. Does that mean free booze?
No,
First place he
no.
goes.
Every citizen still has to pay for their booze, else society would collapse from all the booze being drunk.
I mean, it seems to work quite well in Harpaduke.
Yes, but they work hard, play hard.
Seems to work quite well in pretty much any place where there's dwarves.
Yeah. Anyway, right.
It's one gem per beer, right? For every gem you find, you drink a beer.
That sounds about right.
I mean, not every gem is good.
But you still drink a beer. Just drink a less good beer.
Oh no. Well, we know what Vak's doing for the next 2 weeks.
Definitely. Well, that all said, I'm actually going to give you sort of an update on what I've done in your sheets, as well as an idea of what you might be able to do for downtime. So, after sort of some minor review on various source materials, you might see that you no longer have a negative modifier in one of your stats.
I believe you're correct.
Oh, you are correct, yes.
I am quite correct. Yes, I am always right. I felt that probably due to sort of the various circumstances therein, that having a detriment when you would have all essentially started as common folk, which have 10s across the board, did not make 2 cents. So I added just a simple +2 to that, so you are at least average in everything like a commoner would be.
We are successfully common.
You started successfully common and then only built up from there.
I love that idea of just being successfully common. Yay!
Oh, that means I don't have a
Entirely
-1 in initiative anymore.
Oh, that's disappointing.
That is correct.
I can roll. I'm definitely still rolling lower than everyone in initiative, then. Yeah. Cool.
That all said, we've had some integrations with the new Tasha's content. Some features have changed, some features have expanded. Some aren't even going to be seen yet, so everything still technically does mesh with what we currently have done and seen. Now, you have 2 weeks of downtime.
The fuck is... I'm forgetting all of these new things that were added.
The new Fangled Angles?
Yeah, I forgot about Harness Divine Power.
I have this really neat feature now, which basically gives me luck points equivalent to sorcery points.
Yes,
Wait.
pretty much it allows you to
It's
use your
obnoxious.
channel divinity in order to restore spell stuff.
I can just
So if you don't
get
happen to
a
use it.
level 2 spell slot back? Okay.
Somewhat, yeah. As long as you don't use like your channel divinity thingy.
Yeah.
It's like you're
How do you actually
channeling your
get
inner
more
sorcerer.
channel divinity?
I think you get one at later
I believe
levels.
you restore them on short rest. Give me just a tick here. I think you only have the one, but I think you get yours back on a short rest.
Was it clerics which
Would-
get 2 eventually? Paladins might not. I'm not
Clerics
sure.
get 2 eventually,
Ah,
yeah.
okay. Paladins are supposed to hit things more.
I'm just going to double check that so I have knowledge of it myself. Yes, it is a short rest to reset the channel divinity. A short or long
Okay.
rest, so it's about set there.
That works.
I feel like I've done that wrong a lot of times, but okay.
It's all good. Now we know. Now we happen to know.
Oh, right,
And you can
and I
use your...
changed my fighting style to interception. That's a thing I did.
that you did. We've had some slight changes in fighting style because stuff and things. It felt more meshed to the character.
Yeah. Can't change mine yet because it's broken. Cool.
But that all said, pardon, we do have downtime available. You will have 2 weeks of downtime to sort of figure out what you would like to do. There are a lot of options there of if you would like to craft something, work things.
So
Essentially, there are a lot of options in order to downtime, and you can simply work through it. But if there is a task or something you would like to research, essentially downtime comes in 1 week blocks. So you can either spend 2 weeks doing one thing, or 2 weeks doing, or a week each for that thing. Blocks of time. I can
either
list
2
off
things for a week each, or
mhm.
1 week. Wait.
Correct.
One
Yeah.
thing for. Wow. I've just started trying to say it to simplify
There's
it
a
and
lot.
confuse myself.
It's a whole lot. Yeah.
Is there a presence of Bahamut in this side of the world?
This side of the world, yes. However, mostly it is, religious freedom is here, but it's mostly Luxon-based faith here.
Okay.
Mostly Luxon-based.
Okay. Pelaios is going to. I know what he's going to do because he was quite certain of this. He's going to go back into the firmaments, to the Blue Sebastian ever, because he was invited to learn more about Dunamancy, on return from a little trek. So he's going to go and find someone who can teach you about Dunamancy.
I had a question about that, Rocky.
Yes.
Can I ask them whether they have something they can teach me in terms of protecting my allies?
Sort of, martial training or things like that.
Or even if it's some kind of spell or whatever. Yeah.
Well, Dunamancy is an arcane art. Being a divine
No, I
caster,
get that.
it may not do that.
But I'm
you can-
assuming, yeah.
Well, let's see.
Like they have
I'm just trying to think here.
I'm assuming they have paladins here too that know some shit that normal people, that the other side of the wall doesn't.
Normal people.
They might. In particular, they have a different, I guess you could say, way to fight. So it would be something a bit more aesthetic per se. So give me just half a tick to list down possible downtimes, just as an inspiring start.
Mm-hmm.
So you could look for buying a certain magic item. You could quite literally go carousing. You could craft items. You could simply relax, go for religious services. research things, train in a particular what's the word? Train in a particular language or tool proficiency if you wanted to, or even just pick up some random work around the place. Additionally, I'm just checking. Yeah, pretty much that is about kind of what the main big downtimes are.
And if I can't do what I want, I don't know if this exists actually. I want to see if I can get my Warhammer of Warning imbued with celestial magic.
Well, that would be a bit of a different thing, since per se I wouldn't know the effect afterwards, since your Warhammer of Warning already is a set magic item. So
Right.
imbuing it with something more would be an interference with the current rune set.
There isn't a thing in D&D that you can't somehow make an existing weapon holy. Like, I would do a divine intervention if I had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what
Multi-class
might be.
incoming.
Let me just think on that. As just trying to imbue a weapon with that, at least an existing weapon, would be difficult, and that's item creation on my end. That's trying to figure balance and all that. Closest thing, I can't recall off the top of my head. Pardon. So let me just go down the list so I can at least have an idea of what everyone might be.
The problem
wanting
is I also don't know what kind of warhammers or weapons in general are good for a paladin.
It's kind of whatever you can fit well on that, but for a paladin, it's pretty much you're usually doing like hammers, axes, swords. Those would be like the big things, but there are other known weapons which may be able to what's the word?
Procure.
Give me a think here. Might be able to see about. I think there might be other items which might be, I guess you could say, work well with paladins. So give me just a second to see if there's anything that I remember correctly.
I mean, there's literally an artifact warhammer, but I'm guessing I'm never going to get that.
No, do not. But you.
I mean, mechanically, the only requirement is that it be a the only real minimum is that it be a melee weapon, because you have to be using a melee weapon to do Divine Smite. But I mean, realistically, you could use a dagger if you really wanted to. It would just be.
Can I look for an amulet of the drunkard? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Dave is
Don't take that seriously.
Dave is in full make Rocky Punch me mode today.
Yeah,
I am just hitting my head down. Very good mood, yes. You might be able to figure out by speaking with other paladins if there might be other magical items which might be in line with what you're looking for.
Okay, I'll do that.
We can have. We can sort of have that be sort of something there, and once you get that information, you can see about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, what did you want to do specifically, Dark? So Pelaios is gonna go and find the person who was telling us about the Luxon, Consecution, and Dunamancy before, whose name completely escapes me because I didn't write it down at the time.
I don't think I wrote it down either.
It's probably fine.
I don't think I even said.
I don't know if we did say, actually. Anyway, that person, or someone anyway, and he would like to spend his first week learning basically anything he can about Dunamancy, Consecution, Luxon, not Dunamancy. Start with the other two, the Luxon, Constitution, and outside of it, and the second week learning about Dunamancy and what he may or may not be able to do with it.
All right, so that'll be that. That'll be that. So yeah, I guess it is technically kind of a research for both of you for that first week. Frici, any ideas? Or shall we come back to you in a second?
Ideas. I mean, there was always the new abilities that Lisana has got. Unless Lisana has other ideas, from 1 week could be granted into training and helping her understand those abilities.
Yes, that could actually be quite done. So to sort of reintegrate things, we could say that as a set of training for you both, if there would be something you both would want to figure and know there. Learn a little bit from each other in that sense.
That works for me.
Okay, that covers 1 week then.
So I suppose we'll see the results of the first week before we move on to the second week, if it's continued or not.
That works,
That
yeah.
seems reasonable.
And just to randomize which one it's going to go to, we're going to have everybody roll a d20, and so we're going to see how the order goes for that.
Roll initiative.
Roll for downtime.
Oh, I
I-
should not do that.
I did roll initiative.
Ignore my roll. I'm gonna roll normally.
Oh, don't worry. That's gotta love the integration stuff. All right, so we still got
Yeah.
that's a 5 and 18.
Like, that literally is an initiative roll for me without a dexterity modifier. What is my life? 11 for
11
Lisana.
and 17. Okay. All right. So, let's see. I guess that does bring us to Vakhuil first. And I believe you might be able to speak with the Aurora Watch, who may have some paladins, or direct you to some paladins. So you might be able to speak with them about it.
Okay.
So please do go roll play.
Roll what?
Role play, going out, sort of
Oh.
speaking with someone
Oh,
else.
role play, not role A.
Conversation.
Oh, yeah. I heard roll A.
Yeah, I heard roll A as
Oh
well.
no,
It's
I
like-
said roll. I said no. I said play. The P may have been very soft and plosive.
So I'm gonna go to the Aurora Watch, I guess. Do I remember anyone? I don't think I do.
There is probably somebody during the escort that you do remember coming up with.
Party notes.
We know who the captain was in Asarius. We haven't written anyone's names down from here.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go. Where is the Aurora Watch?
The Aurora Watch would be a little bit closer to the Lucid Bastion, sort of in the towers nearest between bordering the Gallimafrey and the Firmaments. Or a nice
Oh.
big pointy arrow this way.
Hmm.
Kind of this way.
I'm just gonna walk over and say, "Hi, everyone. Can someone help me? I'm not good with words."
Well, it does appear that you are coming for an inquiry. What exactly is it that you are looking for?
I'm looking for paladins or protectors or some kind of people that would be able to either teach me how to protect my allies better, or know about weapons that paladins might be helpful to use. That was a sentence.
I mean, it was a sentence, I think. Yeah, sure.
So you are looking for others who are of similar capability to yourself, and seeing if they might be able to assist in helping you figure out things to make your own styles a little better?
Yes.
Let me see. If you would want, you may check specifically the. I need to find the right word because I had the word a second ago, but now it's gone. You may wish to visit the Aos Order. They are in the firmaments just off on the eastern side from the bastion itself. Should find
What
it,
is that
and they
here?
give you a general pointing there.
Oh. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
I say again, I'm not good with words, but thank you. Okay.
You may tell them that it is Kaid who sent you.
Kaid?
Kaid.
Kaid sells his wares. I'm sorry. Okay. What was the place? The
Aos Order.
Aos Order. Okay.
Correct.
Is there someone stationed at the door?
Oh yes. When you do arrive yourself, you do get to sort of what feels relatively familiar to sort of how the paladin orders are relatively structured. Though this one seems to be a bit more religiously colorful than your usual known. What's the word?
Minimal
or subdued. The subdued sort of look that you're quite used to.
And is there guards standing in front?
There are a couple of guards. You see them in sort of nice shining breastplate with the colors of the sort of pale grays and lilacs, and sort of a symbol of a dodecahedron in some spiraling infinity.
I'm going to try and walk in and see if they stop me.
They do have their staves crossed. It's like, yes, is there something we can help you with?
Kaid told me I could get help being a better paladin here.
Ah, I see. So you are also one with a divine source, I see.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yes. Give me one moment. What was his name?
Plot twist, Vax's sister's here.
Oh no. I'm gonna
You may go speak
ground.
with you may go speak with Kahin. They will know at least what you might be looking for. They are one of the trainers and armorers.
Okay, this looks like a big building. Where do I go?
You will want to go into the landing, take your first left, and it should be at the end of the hall on the right-hand side.
Okay. I kind of want to roll to find out whether Vakhuil can follow the directions.
Give me a survival check.
Oh, good. Oh,
It'll
apparently I'm
be
not that bad at
fine.
those. I'm pretty bad at those.
You have a good wisdom. It's just that you rolled shit.
Yes, you do get down the correct hall. You do get to the end of the hall, but then it was left, right. You turn to the left and knock on that door. There's no answer. You knock again, still no answer. You knock a little louder. The door behind you opens. There is nobody in that particular chamber at this moment. Are you lost?
Depends. Are you Kahin?
I am Kahin. If you are sent to me, then there must be some inquiry you have. Please, step in. Please, do tell me your name. What is your purpose and what is your function?
I am Vakhuil on the wheel. I'm a paladin, and
Such a silly name.
I deserve that. And
Yes.
I am looking for ways to better protect my allies.
Okay, are you working more in a sense in terms of fighting style or in terms of arms and armaments?
I think arms and armaments.
In terms of arms and armaments, well, let's see. It does appear, and gives you a bit of a look of it. I do happen to know that in most generals, arms and armaments of this source does require attunements. You seem to be magically equipped in yourself. How many items do you see yourself attuned to currently?
2.
2. Oh, so still within the limits of being able to hold some magic. Okay. Well, it does depend upon therein. If you are looking specifically, if you wish to bolster your own ability to channel divinity, if you are looking to protect others close to you from lethal damage from a devastating blow, or if you are looking for a particular new weapon which may be able to add, in a sense, a way to help mend some wounds of allies nearby.
The last one.
Okay. Well, give me just half a second. Let me to see if I can find it here. You seem already quite well with martial proficiencies. Have you ever used a flail before?
No. Are they hard
Have
to
you
use?
ever used a hammer? Have you ever used a hammer? Well, yes, you have. I can see it on your sides there. Well, imagine a hammer, but there is a chain between the end of the haft and the head of the mace, and the end of the head. And so instead of going for a straight whack, you have to wind up and learn the arcs of this thing. Give me just one moment. And he goes over, digging through a few things, bringing out an example of a flail, albeit it doesn't have spikes in it. Instead, there are holes where the spikes should be. This here is what we know as a censer. You are familiar with what a censer is, at least. Or at least this head of the flail is a censer. Are you familiar with what that is?
No.
You can roll me a religion check, and I can see if you remember what a censer is.
Uh-oh.
You don't remember the exact function, you just know that it has to deal with incense in some fashion.
Okay. So I'll just say, all I know it has to do with incense.
Good enough.
Okay.
In this sense, this is devotee censer is, I guess you could say, it allows. Give me one moment as I think. There are so many words in. You probably do not speak Elvish, do you?
No.
That is why the words are so hard. Okay, well, this flail is magical. When you hit something with this flail, divine energies are more potent with it. And you may, once attuned to this, be able to speak its word of command in order to have some incense spread out from you, so that creatures within 10 feet of you may be able to slowly regain hit points at the start of your turns. It is best if you know of a way to, move the bad guys away from you, in that case.
Oh, it heals everyone?
It is all creatures. It is a holy incense.
Okay.
But in order to... I am not one to just simply give something like this simply away. It would have to either be earned, or it would have to be bought, as it takes time in order to imbue the correct magics into such an item as this.
How would I earn it?
You wish to test your metal and possibly earn it?
Yes.
Well, if that is the case, then you will need to train with this weapon and give up what you currently have.
I have to give up
As
my
part
Warhammer?
You would, in part of trade, this weapon, in a sense, it will allow you to deal things with. It will deal more radiant hits, as opposed to what may be. Actually, do let me think. If you wish for it to be relatively given, if you wish to earn a discount then, and still keep your weapon, you must still prove yourself.
I'll give my Warhammer.
Alright, well, we will see exactly. This is only if it is after the fact. We will see. Let me see if I can remember exactly how much one of these may go for. Well, with such a thing as this, given its usual sort.
Rocky trying so hard so we can get surprised again.
Wait, is alarm a sorcerer spell?
I can get alarm, I
Say again.
think.
Yeah, but it is a spell you have to set down, and it is in a particular location. It is not going to stay around you.
Yeah.
The weapon does the ping ping automatically, but I could see this weapon at least being worth about 200 platinum pieces, but if you are able to test your worth, I can give it to you for 1,000 instead, if you wish to keep your weapon.
And if I just give the weapon to you?
And if you do happen to give your weapon to me afterwards, you may have this flail after you test your worth in exchange.
I'll do that. Because I got 1,000 platinum.
100 platinum, or what is essentially 1,000 gold.
I don't
You did
have
say
that
1,000
right
platinum. I assume it was a typo.
I said 100 platinum pieces.
Oh, okay. I misheard then.
Yeah, or what is essentially 1,000. I may have misspoke slightly, but 100
now. Yeah,
platinum pieces.
I don't even have 1,000 gold anymore. So
oh boy,
I'm gonna have to earn it.
Gonna have to earn it in trade. Okay. Well, let's see. It will take 2 weeks in order for you to go through this rigorous training. If you'll come back here at we will say first low light. What is essentially when you would usually, you seem the sort that would not know this cycles here, as he digs around and gives you what looks to be like a small watch. This is a small indicator of the various light times. You will be holding onto this so you may know exactly when to attend.
Okay.
We will get to your specifics in just a moment. I will say return later this evening. We will at least get you ready in terms of using this sort of weapon.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, that takes care of that. So we'll know what you'll be doing for the whole 2 weeks, which we can roll after. Next, we have Belanor. Belanor and Lisana, who are actually tied for what they are doing in this first week.
Indeed.
Indeedly. So please do discuss roleplay. New abilities, new teachings, things you want to test between one another.
I mean, first thing is Lisana needs to ask if Belanor's willing to train her.
Good approach. Go right on ahead.
So she's going to walk up in the middle of breakfast and sit down across from him. So I figured out I can do something new. Are you willing to help me with something?
I mean, it heavily depends on the something. What is it that I can help you with?
She's going to quietly mention that she found out she can use Entangle by accident. Don't ask how. It happened. I'm walking away from that incident. I want to see if I can learn more.
Getting in touch with your druidic side. And constraining people. Always fun. Or restraining, I guess. Slightly different with Entangle. Yeah, that is definitely something I could help with.
I can only imagine how that may have accidentally happened. It's like, oops, all roots.
Right? Suddenly finds.
Don't question the thing. Lisana likes to explore. We'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you would like to agree to training and you would like to spend time with one another, I can suggest that each of you can teach something, a language or a tool proficiency that the other knows, in just sort of that spending time with one another kind of feature.
I'm fine with that.
That sounds workable.
Okay, well, in that particular case, probably Frici, you would maybe want to teach. Does Lisana know Elvish or not?
I don't believe so.
Currently, no.
And I think it might be easier for what is the word? For maybe some chatting purely done in Elvish, since you kind of learned from your. Well, you can't teach Druidic. That is a no-no. It is a big no-no to teach Druidic to a non-Druid.
I mean, obviously.
But you could teach Elvish, which is a lot of what you kind of do know your magic as. So we can have that tick down for things that are required. But Lisana, what would you teach in return?
Abyssal, Draconical, Primordial, or Painter's Supplies proficiency.
Yeah, pretty much something you have available to teach. As we'll have Vixie let her have her think on that one.
I feel like out of those, Draconic would be the easier one to learn in a week's time frame.
Well, you won't be learning them entirely. You'll be getting progress towards it.
Fair.
So, in the backwards back and forth. So Lisana will teach Frici how to speak Draconic, and Belanor will teach Lisana how to speak Elvish. So, would you like to do that for just the 1 week or the 2 weeks? Because each is slightly different in their progress.
Sending you a DM, Rocky.
Yes.
Okay, let's see how that DM goes before deciding.
Probably a good idea.
Just the 1 week. I also
Alright,
want
just
to
the
do
1 week.
training with Ilara to build the trust between the two of them.
Okay, give me just a second to write that down. Which leaves 1 week on your own after that, but let's see. We've got that first portion, but once we get everyone figured out with the start of what they're doing roleplay-wise for the week, then we'll get to the actual roles. So that is the first week figured. I already know what's going to be done there, which leaves, lastly but most not leastly, our number 5.
Except in dice rolls, which bear a suspicious similarity to initiative, and it's always least.
Quite.
So
Yes.
Pelaios will go up to the Lucid Bastion. And walk up. I presume to like one of the guards on the entrance or something. Whoever seems like he might be able to find who can help him, which is he's not going to get in without past him anyway, I assume. But
Of course, yeah.
hi. I was hoping you, but I was invited to learn about the Luxon and consecution. I was hoping you could direct me to where that might happen.
And there's a bit of a pause and a moment of recognition, as this was one of the guards who was in attendance when you were with the queen, and thereof. You are looking for a lead. He will be within the bastion itself in,
I'm writing that
I guess you
down.
could say, find it closer to one of the worship wings. So if I remember right, he is usually in this time would be closer to the western wing, if you wish to go there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll lead. Okay. And I will go in the general direction that has been indicated, and hope I don't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
All right? Well, let's hope
is
for
that
that. Scrabble.
AHLEED? That's what I've typed.
Close enough.
It is now. Cool. And I will go in that direction. I suppose generally ask directions as I get closer.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
So if you are asking directions as you go, you can give me a survival with advantage.
Ooh, advantage. That did lots.
Oh goodness, yes. It seems to be
Seriously,
that
Planet?
either you it is a bit of a large location, and directions and references do not seem to quite lead you to where you need to, and instead you wind up in a chamber that is open to sort of the outside, multiple stained colored windows, but there seems to be not who you're specifically looking for. She is not in her usual regal garb, and does turn when you do enter sort of this particular open room. It's like, well, this is unexpected. Not many know how to find this place.
I was looking for a lead Highness.
Well, you're definitely very much lost. You are probably maybe be 3-4 halls different. Very much deeper than you should be. But please, I will take you to him. I am done here at this point. I can call for him to meet us in the main chamber, at least, where I am able to take his advice.
Great. Thank you.
And she will stand, sort of going by in sort of the flowing, almost priestess kind of light gown as she continues to walk. Can you give me an insight roll right quick?
Yeah, these always go really well for me. Oh!
Apparently.
Okay.
I should say that more often.
Okay. Yeah, you need to anti-jinx yourself a few times there.
Right.
Yeah, sort of with the way her walk, she is definitely keeping quite regal, but sort of there's sort of in her eyes there seems to be just some form of back and forth that is going on that seems to be troubling her, albeit her not showing it.
She's having a conversation with herself.
In a sense, and it looks like it seems to be a troubling conversation.
I know that feeling.
So what is it that you wish to speak with Alid about?
The guards on the entrance. I was hoping to learn more about the Luxon and the Constitution. They suggested.
Well, he would definitely have much to say about Luxon. As for Constitutions, that is a bit of a more difficult task to see thereof. While you may be part of the honorary citizenry, such at least deeper secrets to know is something more reserved to those who are in great service and debt to us.
That makes sense. I understand.
And there would be sort of a quiet, awkward moment as he continues to walk until it seems to be a advisory chamber. Looks to be where she is able to sit, and Ali does enter just a couple moments later. It is Pelaios, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I pardon me, Your Majesty. It does appear that an arrangement meant for me had taken part of your own service into disregard. It is all fine, Alid. It was interesting to have to escort and not have to worry about sending someone off myself. You wish to learn more about the Luxon. Yes, the Luxon. Let me finish. And he wished to learn about Constitution. Yes, that I said. Let me finish.
Rocky interrupting himself.
You will teach him what you know. You will teach him what you know about the Luxon. And she will turn to you for a moment. And if you would, so kindly kneel for a moment.
He kneels. Slightly awkwardly, he's not used to doing this, even slightly.
And she sort of goes over and does bring a what looks to be very ornamental sort of sword, and brings it over, sort of tapping it just under your chin. I will ask you this once, and only once. I see that there is some form of interest and potential within you. A mote of sorts that could quite well do very well with the Luxon. Will you stay kneel and have your alliance with us, with the Kryn and the Luxon? Or will you stand and keep what ties you currently have to whatever agencies you may currently know?
Big question. He narrows his eyes slightly, basically calculating, thinking through what she's just said and the implications and so on. I can't speak for my companions, but
Oh no, your group is of no consequence in this. This is purely your own motives, your own heart. Because in this, we are trying to better ourselves. We are trying to grow closer to the Luxon with each moment, with each potential. And if you feel that your previous ties hold back that potential, then let them go. That is simple.
My ties are one of upbringing. I don't have excessive I agree.
So, and she sort of moves that from the chin, taps it to your forehead to look down, and then you feel that sword stay on one of your shoulders. Then with this, I count you as one to know, and to one to eventually know. Let the Luxon show you the potential that you might be, and may the ties and moments before be simply a point in which to set from. And she goes to push the sword back as Ali seems to look, albeit blank-faced, there is sort of that frozen shock. And you may stand again, Pelaios. You are no longer honorary, but you may consider yourself as part of my house.
Would I know enough about the everything, the political whatever, at this point to actually understand what that means?
You can give me a history check if you'd like.
Oh, good. +1. I roll high when it's important today, apparently.
Quite so. You don't know the exact specifics, but essentially you have just been, by giving up your previous ties and accepting to learn as much as you can about the Luxon, essentially converted to the Kryn side.
I've effectively been adopted.
Mm-hmm. You've effectively been adopted into the royal house.
This is not how I expected this show to go today.
No, but in
fine
doing
with this.
so, there is a lot of eyes on you. And
Of
we
course.
can, as a moment, we can tick off the one of your prophecies.
Dum dum da. Yes, we can.
And in doing so, Dark, there is something I will need you to do for me to align yourself more with the... We'll just say that do not count yourself as that second portion. Bump that up to be true on it. Purely logic,
Oh yeah.
since you will be learning more. Yeah. Let's just say that this does cause an alignment shift for our boy Dark here in some fashion.
Dum dum da. Oh no.
And with that
means I'm
said,
shifting.
you'll be spending, well, it's just pretty much move that second portion up one. So no longer on the low end of that axis, but in the middle. So
Yeah, it's funny because I picture that as the other way around, but yeah. I shall do that now, if I can find it. There we are. Dum, dum, da.
So we now, and you'll be learning about this for your entire 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah, this and the Duomancy magic.
Okay, so that's two slightly different roles. So
Yeah.
we'll get the Luxon for that one and then the magic for that one. Okay, well, I think we can do some nice quick rolls. Super quick, and we will do them in the same order that we did to start with. We are now whooshing all the way back to Vakhuil. I will be needing some lovely rolls from you in order to test your mettle on this. So you will be learning... Pardon. Just had a momentary cough right there. I will need 3 rolls from you. And I assume this is going to be your entire 2 weeks. So this is 3 particular rolls,
Yes.
and we'll see how well this works. I will need an athletics roll. I will need a weapon attack roll.
Oh god, how do you do a normal weapon attack?
Just give me one of your weapons, since all of them have no bonuses, so we're fine.
So this works?
That will work, yes. Actually, there's a couple more things. So that would be that portion. And 2 more rolls. I need a religion check. And then I require... Give me a constitution save.
Oh yeah, that's actually quite nice, isn't it?
You have a +2 to that now,
That's-
don't you?
Yeah.
Because you're still conscious.
I was looking at it like,
Hmm,
why is that
yes.
+6? Oh, right.
Because you get your bonus from the charisma, because paladins.
Is it his charisma
Well,
or is it just
thankfully-
a flat +2?
It's his charisma bonus, so if he improves his charisma, then it
Aces.
increases. Yeah.
That affects all of us when we're close enough as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, within 10
Correct,
feet
yeah.
of me.
Aces. Speaking about the one person who tends to rush straight into the fight and leave the rest of us behind.
To be
We all
fair,
shoot
I'm
things from
always
range.
I try to always stay near Vixie
That's fair.
whenever she rushes in.
That's fair.
Well, hey, it's you're both a bit more suited for interesting kinds of combat now, anyways.
Unless there's a cliff
So
you can jump
you
off.
have been able to actually, albeit you had a bit of a tougher time with sort of the physical tasks. You were able to swing your weapon well. You were able to learn the various doctrines, to understand the histories, as well as going through other vigorous trials just to test your stamina. So you have been able to prove your worth on that. You may appropriately remove your Warhammer of Warning and give yourself a divine sensor.
God, dog, why are you growling? Stop. That's scary as hell. Divine. Oh, what?
Sorry, devotee's sensor. Words. Should be pretty easy to find.
Into it.
All else fails, I can tend to that in the break. But we're going to move on
No,
to
it
this
worked.
next
It's worked.
question. Okay, good. So, since you two are training with one another, can you each give me, let's see, since you're mostly about magic, can you each give me well, let's see. Thinking. Can you each give me some wisdom checks? Since they're both your spellcasting stuff.
Looks like
Frici,
it's my
also
day to
give me
roll
a
low.
You there, Frici?
Yeah, give me a moment, I couldn't find my shit, and I had to reopen it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wisdom check.
Okay, good. Good thing this was a combined roll. So each of you are able to give me well, you'll have to make a note of this somewhere, but you each have 1 tick of progress towards learning the other language. Because of how intelligent each of you are, you require 8 ticks in order to learn that language. Normally it would take 10 weeks. For you, both, it'll take 8 weeks. So you've got 1 out of 8 weeks towards learning that new language.
Well, look at Brainiacs.
So smart. SMRT. Which now we can work on this last roll for this first week that's going on. So you're mostly going to be learning about the Luxon. So give me a religion roll.
How did I know it was going to be religion? +1.
I was about to say at advantage because you are getting some help from a lead.
I'll take it. I'll definitely
Wow.
take it.
All right.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Give me just half a little tick as I exposit things at your face.
Splurge!
So, from what you know, at least what you're being taught, it is believed that long before the gods of Exandria came to shape Exandria, there was a time where there was a single light that came from the dark nothingness. Other lights came into being around them, settling into stars. This one light, however, resisted the force that beckoned them to burn like their star-fated brethren. This one light wanted to understand what they were and chose to wander, choosing a different path. They went through the endless stretches of the lonely dark, the voice of the stars silent to the light as they walked away. Lonely, they wandered until they found a cold, dark rock. They grew fond of the rock, seeing as it was as lonely as they were, and embraced it. There was a spark that fired within, cracking the surface and giving life to the cold world. From there, that light watched the world turn and change, chaos giving birth to the primordials. The light wanted to guide them and learn for themselves, and in turn discover their purpose, but the primordials warred amongst themselves and killed one another, their souls being lost to the dark beyond. Confused but determined, the light decided that time was required and a cycle of trial and error must be enacted for children of chaos to better themselves. So, In sacrificing the majority of their own essence, the light created beacons of its own self, crystals of great power that enacted a cycle of rebirth for those who were bound to it. This act exhausted the light, and they fell into a deep slumber within the core of the world, waiting for the time when the children of their own mind would learn from life to life through eons of struggle and self-reflection, until knowledge had matured enough to awaken them, and the children could answer to question the light that had sought from the very beginning. What is the purpose of this light? This light is now referred to as the Luxon, and the Shards, these crystals of great power, are the Luxon beacons, pieces of the light itself. And from there on, it doesn't have, active conscious personality. It is purely system of faith and a bunch of scientific and metaphysical truths that, mostly interpretation, but the nature, the potential, and time and space going over and over in that cycle is what you learn for the most part as learning about the Luxons. So that leaves us with the other set of things. So we know Dark is going to start wanting to figure out Dunamancy.
Yeah.
But that still leaves both Belanor and Lisana with their other weeks. If I remember correctly, there was something slightly different that Lisana wanted to do for the second week.
Yes, I want to find a way to strengthen my bond with Elara. The best thing I can figure is working with a trainer on how best to handle her.
That might be something you might see a bit more in the Coronas, as you have your wider spread training and maybe even barding services out in that session area. But thankfully, you do happen to have a contact in the Coronas that might be able to point you in the right direction.
My Knoll friend?
Quite so. I mean, Reyna is a part of the crafting profession and would have a bit of a bead on other professions available and services within the Coronas.
So that's where I'm headed, is to go and talk to her then.
All right, with that still leaves Belanor, what you might want to do with that week. Would you like to possibly do a little bit of meditation and possibly get some better gleaning insights into the vision that you had, since it did seem to resonate with you quite strongly back in the Barbed Fields?
That is a good point. That is something that Belanor could do for the remainder of the time, yeah.
That is an option, unless you have something else in mind.
No, it sounds like a good option. We can go with that.
Now for me to remember what the things were. It is actually Belanor who goes first with this, so I will need, I guess you could say, either a nature or a religion check at advantage to see if you are going to interpret the areas or interpret the meanings on what might be going on for that vision.
Either a nature check or a religion check.
Yes, so it's either, from the vision, you are either thinking about the areas you will be going forward, and that allows you to feel more prepared with what you might want to, I guess it is a nature check. Hooply!
I mean, for me, mechanically they are the same, so makes more sense to go
Yeah.
with the one that would be more character appropriate. So nature.
Alright, yes. Entirely true. With the crit of the night. Well, no, this is not the first crit, is it? It's the second crit, ain't it?
Yeah. My history. His is a much better natural 20 than mine is, to be fair.
maybe only by a little bit.
Yeah.
So, from what you were able to tell, at least looking through and reminding yourselves of what just might be the location thereof, you were whisked across from this gray land to something much more green. You remember going across lusher, humid jungles, but that went further beyond that into something a bit more forest-like. But from what you could tell, at least from the look and the feel of the forest, it seemed choked. Like something was in its system that had caused it to become gnarled, and that rumbling ember beneath, possibly either civilization or some other force that is still causing some form of burning in some fashion, deep, deep beyond in that embers. So, from what you can tell, it will definitely be a wooded area, and you can possibly expect not just things that are the usual bestial sort, but probably something that is a bit more on the poisonous and corrupted side. So something deathly and sickly, in addition to venomous.
You know, all these words you're using are really convincing me that this would be a great place to go.
Do we already know where this is, by the way?
Oh, yes, definitely. Belanor would be able to know that that particular location is specifically in the Menagerie Coast.
Which
Albeit a
side
fair bit up that coast.
Fair.
Isn't
And
it a
you could
lot warmer
possibly
there?
think, it is a bit warmer up there. Just a little bit, not by much. Because apparently the forests and woods of the Menagerie are on the northwest side of the coast. Not to where it gets too freezy freeze, but it's definitely, it's going to be sort of a, what is the word for it? I guess you could say it's going to have a climate to it. There's going to be a bit of humidity, but there's going to be those strange bits of hot and cold, depending upon where you are, as this portion would border the frigid depths sea. So it's in that weird between the frigid depths and the Lucidian Ocean. That said, that does mean that possibly preparing for beasts, things which carry poison, and possibly things which are not natural would be well advised. Which moves us from Belanor to Lisana. Oh, Belanor, there's also something else for you to consider. Since that is all the way in the Menagerie Coast, you're going to have to try to figure out, it's probably not the best to go by land. You're going to need to find a way to get a boat. But that's probably something you can bring up with the party.
Pelaios would like to raise an objection in advance against going back through the tunnel they used to get into Shorehouse in the first place.
Probably very big objection, yes.
How are we going to get there?
Well, party will reconvene and we can see about the route thereof. After all this downtime. But we're going to be moving to Vixie and Lisana for this particular point. Where's that token gone off to?
Whose token?
I'm
Where's
assuming she
Lisana?
means
Oh, all the way
mine.
there. Okay. Yeah, sorry. It's like, oh boy, that's the entirely different wrong direction. Right over here is where you meant to be.
Are we just assuming that
Reyna is
Lisana...
said this way.
Are we just assuming Lisana rolled a natural 1 on her survival check to not get lost fed?
Reyna made sure to give good directions, and I'm pretty sure Lisana would be the only one of you to not get lost.
Probably true.
She's in a city. Are you really sure you want to test that? She's used to the forests.
I'm pretty sure you would very well remember the main directions that she came from. It was just 2 streets.
For me, it was just 2
That
hallways.
said-
I got lost.
I mean, if you would like to roll a survival to see if you get lost in the city or not, go for it.
Just because I'm curious now.
Oh!
What did I say? Called
Ah.
a natural 1. That's
Oh, now you're on the left side
Ah.
of the city.
that's genuinely
Yes,
hilarious.
now it does make sense for the placement. Now it does make sense. The dice have foregone this conclusion. All right, can you roll me a d4? I want to see exactly how many hours it takes until you can get your bearings again. Only an hour. Give me another survival check.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, a 10 is okay enough because it's basic directions. After a bit of asking around and a bit of an idea of where things might be, we'll be able to make it back to the main street and find the particular workshop that Reyna's pack does happen to work at. Albeit, when you do ask for Reyna, you are pointed in the correct direction, and you are interrupted in the... Well, there is a mouthful of sandwich that the gnoll has. Oh, ah, yeah, just come on.
I will step inside.
A bit of a large gulp and a sigh, like, okay, what brings you here again? You don't need another bow, do you?
I don't. I'm actually looking for a trainer, and I'll have Ilara come out from hiding. I'm assuming she's hiding inside my cloak's hood at the moment.
More than likely, yes, as there is another big bite of sandwich. Trainer. Something like that. Looking just for tricks or something a bit more?
I need to strengthen my bond with her. We've had a little bit of a rocky start, but we're getting somewhere, but I would like some help understanding her better.
Let's see, animal relations and all that. Let's see. You might want to get a little bit further down towards the eastern side of the city. Probably a bit closer. You'll go past one field and just keep following the road forward. When you reach the bend, go right. When you get to that second field, you'll see another sort of bit of farmland there. There happens to be a couple folks that way who are with the open space they happen to have near the farm. They are able to sort of do a bit more training, moving around with animals that require breaking or further bonding.
Are they okay training without trying to break the animal?
Oh, it's a term they use. It's breaking is making a wild animal tame. So, like, getting a horse broken into a saddle.
Yeah, I've personally heard the term, but Lisana's not comfortable with it.
Given that it is
She
a
grew up
small
around
creature,
Tabaxi.
given it's a small creature, the term breaking and the use of that, since it seems to be you already got a little bit of a bond, breaking won't be needed. It'll just be some
Okay,
extensive bond.
Fair. Can I get those directions one more time, please?
You'll go out and go down the road east. Continue east, you'll go by a big old rock and some towers that are currently being built up from there, and then you'll eventually reach the a fork in the road. You'll go down south, and you'll want to get near a large red building that has a farm near it.
Lisana is going to hug her and thank her for her assistance.
Mm-hmm. I would have thought you would have come seen me sooner. Get yourself lost when only get here around lunchtime?
Maybe. You knew me when I was a kid. You know what I'm like in larger areas.
You wandered off often. Looking at various sites, getting a tiny bit distracted, and then losing your bearings entirely until you took a moment to set yourself right.
I eventually find my way, even if I have to take the long way around.
The scenic route, as you called it. But yes, you'll be dealing with a couple of goblins on that side of things. In particular, you're going to be looking for a relatively large fellow. Let me see if I can't remember his name. You're going to look for Burbulu. Burbulu would be his name.
Rocky, can I have the spelling of that?
Berbooloo. Burbulu.
Thank you. She is going to hug Reyna again and head over to seek out the direction.
And Reyna will wave off Lisana, still stuffing a sandwich into the face. Brought to you by Real Sandwiches for that sort of talk. Alright, let's see if you can follow the directions. Let's move that token.
If I can see anything past my character sheet.
Probably a good idea. any moment as we watch to see if directions can be followed. All right, that's a good start. Continuing, going past the rock. Made it! So this looks to be sort of a relatively larger homestead, not only just for farming and processing therein, but definitely a fair bit of livestock as well. And other beasts of burden and beasts of work. And in this particular side of things, it looks to be mostly goblins. Few hobgoblins, and then every once in a while a bugbear.
She will go up and knock on the door.
It will be a small goblin who, after you hear a bit of a clunk, clatter, 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 the top of the door opens up, and standing, arms propped on sort of the other bottom half of the door, like goblin's like, yellow.
Hi, I was told that there was someone here who could help me with training. I'm looking for Burbaloo.
You're looking. You're looking. Sorry, I had a bit of a tickle back in my nose. You're looking for Burbaloo.
That's correct.
All right, one moment. As you see, hopping down the stool and running further in until you can see sort of like run all the way down to the other end, and you just hear sort of like Burbaloo, Burbaloo, and then scamper back, and then tack, 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 tack. He's out in the back a moment. I can either show you to him, or you can wait here and wait for him.
I can wait here, that's fine.
Alright. And then tack down, the top of the door still open. Eventually, you would see very tall, large, long-limbed figure, hairy beyond reason, eventually step up to the door, their forehead pretty much touching the door frame as they look down. It is a big bugbear and very rough-looking clothes. You can see stains of mud, dirt, grass. This is a jerkin of a working bugbear. And he sort of looks down and pauses a moment. You hear a low as the stool is scooted back, and he squats down onto the stool and is still face to face with you, squatting on the stool. Yeah.
Hi, I was told that you could help me with working on bonding with my friend here, and she'll try to lure Alara onto her shoulder so she can peek out.
I'll need an animal handling for that. In the presence of the scent of this bugbear, it is just burrowing further into the hood.
At least now we
And
understand.
this is why we need help.
Yep.
You got a little critter in there. Definitely real hard to see. Why you want to bond it a little bit more?
She's my companion, and in future I would like to have her assistance with scouting.
Oh, so very dependent. Need to be independent, be able to follow some direction. Be able to move and think and know what I might be looking for. Know the danger after. You paying or you working?
I'm here for a week, whatever works better for you.
Paying gets supper on the table. But working, paying gets supper on the table tonight. Working keeps supper full all week. If you think you can work, we can use the good hours for the training. Rest of it, you can work.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Any skills?
I'm good with a bow. I'm good with a brush.
Can you handle a sickle?
You may have to show me a time or two how you use it, but I'm a fast learner.
Well, if you can swing around that sword of yours well enough, you can probably use a sickle and sheath. All right. He stands back up, holding out a very large hand that, he could probably step back another good long step and still be able to reach you with this arm. And it is a big, hairy hand. I'm Burbaloo. Welcome to the stead. We'll see if we can't get your critter working right.
She will follow along.
Alright, from here, I will be needing 2 checks. Technically 3, but we'll get to that in a second. So, let me see here. I'll be needing... Nothing like forgetting what all the skills are all at once.
If it's any consolation, I get that feeling.
If in doubt, just remember deception and fake your way through knowing them.
True.
Alright, I'll be needing an athletics check. First, we'll get that and we'll see what happens. Decent. And I'll be needing a weapon attack roll. You can use your short sword for that. Also decent. Give me a constitution saving throw.
All the things that have zeros attached to them.
Well, happens. Alright, so that's that. Thankfully enough to get over the numbers I'm looking for. So you can give me an animal handling roll. And we'll see exactly how much progress can be made here.
There we go.
There it is.
That's more like
So, after having gotten used to, the scent of goblin all around by being essentially in the stead itself, and it is tiring work. You are put out into the fields to run between points, to gather up wheelbarrows, to pull them, to cut various sorts of grain. It is tiring work, and you would definitely be near exhausted at the end of each day. But Burbaloo seems to know what he's doing and has a good set of shoulders on him to be able to direct you as needed. There are certain techniques in order to have a animal be suited for scouting, and thankfully there were some dog-like adjacent animals that could be used for, being able to take direction and know those things. So, Alara will be able to be a bit more easy around uneasy scents, be able to respond a bit more easily, and does have some basics when it comes to scouting, and some signals thereof. I think I had something else, but entirely again, the train has been derailed.
It's been a weird Tuesday.
It's been a weird week in total, even though it is only Tuesday. Alright, Burbaloo would then sort of give you a big, hearty, nearly full of your bag-sized hand slap on the back. Add your week, got your training, and since you are scouting for that little thing, or at least that thing will be scouting for you, you ever consider getting some barding on it?
Somewhat.
Well, you told me that this thing likes to be a bit sneaky on its own, so armor itself might not be a good idea. While I don't know who might be able to, there might be a way in order to get some magic and place it on a collar. Now, I don't think we got anything special like that here in Rosohna. Maybe keep an eye out on your travels. Maybe find someone who may have such a kind of item. Probably another big city set place.
Man, if only there was a place where we were, where there was a lot of pet-related stuff.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, do keep that in mind, and remember, not only just gotta be a place that has wide applications of magic. Not just any old pet place will do this.
You tried, Dave.
When I do get back to the party, I will mention this to
Rocky.
them to have extra
Okay.
eyes looking out for that.
Rocky just shut me down, that's clear.
Oh, I was just making sure that Asarius might not be. It is a city of beasts. It's not a city of magic.
Fair.
But there were hints given. Probably someplace that does have a bit more big city vibes might have an item sort of suitable. It's just not here. Which leaves us after we got our Luxon, we got our bits, we got our bobs, we got our hips. So we're looking back at our resident tiefling, now Luxonite of sorts,
Dun dun dun.
to figure the ins and outs of Demency.
Yes.
So I'll be needing an Arcana from you.
Oh, good. Finally, I get to roll something I'm proficient in. It happens so rarely. Naturally.
I was about to say.
Yep.
I was about to say it should be an advantage because you are being helped by a lead.
It's gonna. Oh, that's a bit better.
So you are able to understand sort of what Dunamancy is. It is a potential of the world. It is, from what you can tell in the further applications, at least in terms of it is potential. But applications are mostly done in terms of gravity, space, potential of gravity, and then time, potential of things that could happen, and acceleration, deceleration thereof. And while it would be possible to learn it, given your particular sorceress origin and being of a sorceress origin, grasping Dunamancy would take a very long while to see it in its current applications.
I only have an intelligence of 13. Nice.
I mean, that's enough to multi-class into wizard.
I mean, that's technically true, just about. But no. Anyway, continuing.
Yes, continuing. But it would be possible, at least, there is a potential. And because of that potential, there are ways in order to sort of get an understanding of it. If you had funds available, you would be able to have a wand that might help in a more dynamantic sense.
Yeah, I have money. Apparently more from Vakhuil does.
In fairness,
But
Dave
to
helped
do
pay
s-
for Lisana's
Mhm.
That is true.
bow.
That is quite true.
And they also paid for all the rings.
All the rings and things. But in order to get a wand of that particular caliber, let me just double check here.
100 billion gold pieces. No, electron pieces.
No, in order to, after you've done sort of your training there, you would need about 2,000 gold.
I don't have that much. I've got over
No,
1,500,
however-
including platinum.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, however, there is a way in order to sort of learn the lesson of potential. You are given an empty dynamantic wand, which you must eventually grind gemstones into its inlay and let it be soaked into its surface. So essentially it is a deactivated wand, and when you are able to put about 2,000 gold's worth of gems
Gemstones
into it, it will then activate.
Neat. That works.
So, so you can put the wand in your inventory since I've already made it. We've discussed this before.
Mm-hmm. Plot twist. Here's one we made earlier.
Words, I just lost the plot for a moment. But yes, it's been done earlier. You just have to unlock the potential that is within that wand, but you do not equip it or attune it yet. So
Neat.
it's currently inactive,
But question,
just in your inventory.
just for mechanics'
Yes.
sake, can he do that in small bits?
As long as it is eventually 2,000 total. So he could
Okay.
get it. He could pop in 500, but then it's going to stay at that 500 until he gets the other 1,500.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Cool.
Yep, it is. It is bits of potential. Sometimes potential can happen all at once. Sometimes it's a little trickle over time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. On his way out or home, or hold up, what? Two things. At some point in all of this, he will request a short private meeting with the Queen.
Mhm.
Just because he has something he wants to tell her specifically.
All right, private meeting.
Da-da-da-da.
Will that be said for everyone to hear, or is this going to be something super secret to be discussed later?
No, it doesn't matter if everyone else hears. In this case, he's basically just going to tell her what his real name is, on the basis that she's his monarch or whatever now, and should probably get to know.
Probably a good idea. It gets to learn your story.
Yeah, not like everything, but more than the rest of the party knows.
Mm-hmm. The truth, per se.
Basically, yeah, we can probably have a conversation later about what exactly she's told, but yeah.
We could probably say names, previous ties, a name drop of who you worked for, but now no longer have ties to since you have been
Yes,
converted in a sense.
that seems reasonable. Cool. That will happen. And the second thing, he'll try and get hold of about 500 gold's worth of gemstones in the city if he can find it,
Pretty easy.
which
Pretty
he will
easy.
pay for.
You have just dropped the money out of that, and we know your progress.
Yeah. I will pay for that in... Yeah, I'll pay for that in gold. Move that. Yay, I'm poor again.
Question.
Answer.
My trainer didn't. they did not at all react to a small dragon coming into their office?
I mean, there would have been some questions, but given how you happen to have some draconic livery,
Okay.
it wasn't too surprising.
Okay.
And besides, that's a pseudo-dragon. It's not a dragon.
I mean, true.
That's why pseudo's in front of it.
It still looks like a dragon.
Mm-hmm. Not quite like a true dragon, though. It's got a draconic look, yes, but it bears, it's got its own thing. It's tiny, so we're okay. It's not like a big wrecking dragon going around the place. So there was a little surprise, to start with, but seeing that, it's something small, probably a familiar or some other companion to this one, it's of no big worry. But that looks like everyone's 2 weeks has been chunked down. I guess it's time to reconvene and information be shared. Move your tokens.
Where's our inn again?
Right next to Belanor.
Belanor's
Your
gone
tokens.
Belanor's gone nowhere all week. He's just been reclining at home.
Belanor's been sticking close.
Making sure no one steals the horses. Even though we left them in a stable further out. And even though the
Grab a
lion
horse.
even though the lion would eat anyone who tried to steal the horses.
Yup.
Pretty sure Ghibli can handle things too.
The line is actually pretty damn dangerous, I'll be honest.
It's pretty scur. So, information to be traded. What has everyone learned and would like to tell the rest of the party?
I'm just going to ask everyone to be on the lookout for someone that can help me with that collar.
Are we in the inn right now?
Yes.
I'm just gonna hold up my God, what kind of weapon is it again?
It is
Flail.
a flail.
I'm gonna hold up my flail and say, I learned how to use this, and it does cool stuff, and I speak the command word.
And thus we now have this light smoke that is actually relatively pleasing to the scent and seems to kind of alleviate the general ache and stress of the day.
I'm so tempted to suddenly improvise allergies. But I'm not going to. I'm allergic to your special
Danae.
fancy magic.
Go for it.
It seems less sharp than before.
Don't worry. I can test it on you if you want. It will hurt more.
I'll pass.
Question, Rocky.
Answer.
Would Pelaios actually sense how magical this thing is?
Well, given that you spoke a word of command and an effect happened, that generally happens by magic.
Okay.
That was just random chance that it happened to activate at the same time as he said something. That was just sheer random dumb luck.
Okay.
Roll a D100. If you roll a 100, that works. No.
Actually, now I realize it. This would have been the first time that Frici has ever heard me speak an elven word.
Oh boy,
good
give me a
point.
second.
What that
I'm going to
supposed to
give
be?
you what the command word is. Give me a second here.
At the start of each of your turns, you and any other creatures immune sense. Oh, not any creatures you choose.
Mhm.
Everything.
No, it's everyone.
Yep.
So noted.
So, probably something good for a between moment or needing to shove something away, etc.
Do I roll the 1d4 or do the people themselves roll the 1d4s?
I would assume it's. Just the
It would
effect come
be
from
at
you.
the because it's at the start of your turn. You would roll that d4.
Okay. No, it says at the start of each of your turns.
Yeah, each of your
Yep,
turns.
at the start
Yeah,
of
you're
each of your
good.
turns.
Oh.
At the start of each of your turns, you and any other creatures immune sense. So we have to be within range at the
Right.
beginning of your turn, or you have to be in range of us at the
Gotcha.
beginning.
I can read, I swear.
The command word I will be writing into the chat.
Okay, he's typing.
Now that's a word.
That's cruel and really funny.
I can assure you Vakhuil will have butchered it, but have said it.
Yep, Nedoyej. Nedoyej
not-
is the command word.
I am not sure how to explain the look, but if you've
It's
seen,
sort of
this-
very confused.
yes.
What does it mean?
Uh, it is the Elvish word for cleansing.
Huh.
Haha, hee hee. But I believe Belanor has some information that, or does anyone else have any information to trade off or to update therein? Because I'm sure Belanor has a big piece of info that needs to be addressed.
Probably. I will offer no information. If someone chooses to ask, they can ask, but Pelaios will not offer.
Say that again, sorry?
Pelaios does not offer any information.
Oh,
He doesn't volunteer anything, but
Well, I guess then that leaves Belanor to drop the big piece of information for the where they might be going.
remind me again. There was some time past.
The Menagerie Coast.
west side of the Menagerie Coast.
The Menagerie Coast. Which, west side of the Menagerie Coast. Which is, let us get the big laggy map going.
If anyone chooses to ask Pelaios, he will tell them at least some of what happened, but those who don't ask don't get. Lag map.
Big ol' lag map. Let me know when it's all set and I can... You can see a
working on
nice,
the
lovely
stream
thing.
view.
Mhm.
So we are currently.
Yeah, tell us when it loads on stream.
Yeah, it's more or less loaded on the. I could do a bit more, but that's where we currently are.
Everybody else got themselves loaded?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so you are here. You're wanting to get all the way over around, I would say, get your zoom out to about 25%, and then watch this jump. Let me know when ready.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Okay, so you are here. The destination is somewhere
Oh.
here.
Oh.
Bit of a distance. I will also point out
Which
there
means...
are...
Which means going back... You don't probably want to go through the Ashkeeper Peaks again.
Bit of a war
So
zone
that
there.
means
Or a cave.
probably taking a waterway down after you find yourself a way to get a boat.
Can we go through here?
You could try to go through there, but
Right there.
maybe you'll see exactly. The case was you'll probably need to get a boat somewhere around here, or before then, and then you have the rivers here, but it allows you to go through a couple different ways, either going past the eyes of the lake from Fever Gulf Lake or through the Gehem Basin. But you'll probably hear about those locations once you get a little closer and you can make your decisions there.
Do
Yeah,
we want,
what's more dangerous, the ocean or that place?
do we want to die in this direction,
Well-
or do we wish to die in this direction?
Yeah, it just depends upon what's going on in Gehem Basin and what's going on in Fever Gulf Lake. Who knows what's going on? Yeah, probably someone a little bit closer, but it still begs to argue that there's no real big, I guess you could say, shipping kind of town areas. Asarius is close. They might have an idea about it. But
Dave, where were you suggesting?
mhm.
Where was Dave
What?
suggesting? You suggest can we go this way? I didn't see where you were indicating.
Through the Gehem Basin.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But so that leaves an issue to address. You need a boat, but there's probably not any big cities nearby that would be able to get to where you might want to get through for that. So you're going to have to find a magical boat. Maybe Asarius could have a clue or idea thereof.
We need a foldable boat, guys.
Oh no, he dropped a name.
So I guess.
But that, I believe, actually is about as much as we have. We've done a fair bit of stuff today, but we're going to leave ourselves still in Rosohna to get on the way in the tracks.